Hi everybody and welcome back in my modeling channel. So today we're gonna build my first car. It's an Italeri kit, Porsche 928 S4 on a scale 1/24. So let's review the kit and see what we have inside that box. So we are going to start with the instruction sheet. Pretty straightforward. We have the part list and quite detailed information regarding the car itself and how we are going to build this. Then we have some decals, and those decals will coming with the cockpit details, of course the Porsche logo and some different plates. So now let's open the main body and the bags and see what we have. So the kit comes with the different sprues, and we have different colors as well on the sprue. So we have some gray plastic, and those will be for the main engine, the exhaust, and some suspensions for that 928. Then we're gonna have a black color for the car. Basically, the car will be in the black plastic. And then we have a dark grey plastic sheet, which will be the body of the car, the interior, and all the interior doors, seats, and bumpers. So we have another sprue coming up, and those are a sort of chrome color, and that's for the wheels of the Porsche. As you can see, you have all the four wheels and the attachment. And now we are going to open the rubber sheet where we have all the tires for this Porsche. And then last, and here is the clear part. So we have the headlights, of course the windscreen, and the side windows, and we have the headlights and backlights, but there will be some painting to do on that, as there is some colors. So let's see what we can come up with, and enough talking. So we're gonna initially start this model by the engine. So first I will have to prepare all the parts, and then I will assemble them all together. Now that the engine has been built, we are going to paint it, and for this I'm going to use some Tamiya, and I will use a flat aluminium color for that. Later on I will also do some parts on like the struts and some other parts for the gear. So after that I will enhance the kit and the engines, and I will use some welding cable, and I will do the spark plugs that I will cut after that, and I will use some red cable to prepare and to replicate the electrical cables. After that, of course, I will have to use some gold paint mixed with some metallic parts, metallic paint, and I will continue to enhance the keys for the chassis and the axles and the struts. night time to do some weathering over the engines, as those engines are not always very clean. So for this I use some panel lines from Tamiya, black color, and basically that would reveal a lot better all the panel lines and the structure of the engine and do a little bit of weathering. After that I use some red paint to paint the strut of that 924, that 928, and later on we will continue doing some more weathering and some more color difference between all the parts on that engines and the chassis. After that I made my own part where I could plug all the sparks plug on that engine. So I used some epoxy putty and two composite putty, and then I put it at the proper shape. Then I had to paint some bays and the belt basically on the engines, and for that I use a matte black color. So we are now going to paint the radiator on the engines, and later on do a little bit of weathering. So at the moment I'm going to glue the spark plug on the engines, and that was a kind of a tricky part. So for that I had to use some super glue, and then the other issue was to get all the cables together. That was the kind of a tricky part we had to do, and it took quite a while. Then I had to drill some holes again on the parts where the sparks plug will arrive. So it's night time to paint the chassis, and for this I use a mix of metallic blue and dark blue as well to get the proper color of that Porsche 928 that I was willing to build. After that it was time to start the assembly. So I put the struts and the lines for the wheels, and of course after that there will be some more work, and we're going to start fixing slowly we will have to fix the clamp first to make sure that everything is sitting into position, and now we're going to get ready to fix the engines on the car. So now we are going to prepare the transmission bar. As you probably know, the 928 is a propulsion car, and as the engine is located up front, so we have to do that transmission bar. Now I will put the isolation material next to the exhaust and the transmission bar, and for this I use the interior of a pack of cigarettes. I borrowed some to some smoking friends, and basically after that you use some weathering material and you get the perfect outfit and color for that. So we're now going to paint the transmission bar. I will use the same flat aluminium color from Tamiya, and I will also paint the direction bar, and of course after that I will do the same for the exhaust of the car. As usual, I will add a little bit of weathering with some panel lines solution, as those cars are normally quite dirty underneath. So I will do that for all the parts, of course, and then do a little bit more weathering for the exhaust pipe and the castle. It's now time to assemble the car, so underneath. So for this I will slowly use some Revel glue and a little bit of patience, and most probably I will have also to use some clamps during the final assembly. So we are now going to start preparing the interior of the car. So I will start with the seats that I will start to assemble. They are placed in two parts, and then I will prepare inside basically the cabin of that car. So one of the main challenge on that part for the inside of the cabin of the 928 is there are some carpets on the floor. And for these, as there is no paint with replicated carpets, I use some sandpaper. So I took all the measurements and I prepare and I sand it down, and what I will do is I will use that sandpaper as a carpet, and that will give me that effect basically of the carpet. So I finished that, I took all the measurements, cut it at the right size, and then later on I will paint them, and that will give us a pretty end result. I was quite satisfied with that. So it's now time to go to the paint booth, and I will paint all the interior seats with a beige creamy color, a very light one, as it is on the 928. So we are now going to use some masking tape to protect all this light cream color inside the car, and then I will have to prepare the rest basically, as you know, the car has the control panel and everything is in black and matte black color. Now that everything has been painted, we're going to remove all the mask, and we're going to be able to slowly do the final assembly of the cabin. So we're going to put the rear seat, the control panel. I will use a little bit of a weathering technique for those seats, as through times, I mean, you can have some wear and some dirt coming into those lines. For the main control panel, I will use that old technique called the dry brush, and I will use that to get all the effect basically on all the buttons and all the techniques on that part. So now we are going to use a dark gray paint to replicate the amplifier for the music, and then we're gonna continue and dry out a little bit and clean up the weathering we did with using a earbud, a cotton bud, to clean up all those seats, and you will see that only the dirt will remain and the stain will remain inside the seat. After that, I use some white glue to basically to put on our seats, and then we will close the doors, and we will finish the assembly with the control panel. It's now time to finish the main body of the car, and I will have to do some paint touch-up as well, so that will be for later on. And so we're gonna install initially the rear view mirror, and after that we are going back to the paint booth, and now we're gonna prepare the brake unit for the car. Now we're gonna finally do all the paint, and for this I had to redo a part of the paint, so I got a better paint for that car. So the body was made basically with a metallic blue, and I use also a little bit of blue, green, and a little bit of black as well, and that gives that effect that is on that 928. I'm now going to finish the brake units of that 928. So for this I use a different type of metallic color around, and it was a little bit more matte. And then the brake unit itself basically was made in yellow color. So we are now going to proceed to the final assembly of the body.
So we're gonna go slowly through the final assembly of this car. So we're gonna put all the brake unit, and then we're gonna do the final touch-up for the interior of the 928 as well. And then we're gonna do some details as well, like the wipers and the aileron on the back, and then add some headlights as well, and all the lights together on that car. So now we're gonna put the last part of the wheels, and we're gonna add the wheels on our car. We're gonna glue them all together, trying to get a little bit effect as well with the direction and the steering wheel. After that, it's time to put the backlights, and for this I'll have to use some metallic paint to give a proper effect as well on the car. Last wiping on our windows, and now we're gonna fix the car all together, and then we're gonna have the end result coming very soon after putting a little bit of decals on that car. This is the end result of that Porsche 928 S4 on a 1/24 scale, and I have to say that it was really a pleasant build. I was very happy and very pleased of the final result, especially considering that this is my first car model. I probably will do some more in the future, and I hope you enjoyed that build with me. If you did so, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you soon for another build and modeling on that channel. Thank you for watching.